Welcome back to Drive Your Thoughts podcast. I'm your host, Master Coach Carrie Marshall, and it's time to go after those goals.
Yeah, whether ready or not, life's coming hard, no breaks, no stop. And if you put me on the spot, don't get it twisted, I never drop. If you feel a bit out of control and out the box, here's a way that you could drive your thoughts. Turn this podcast on, it's a lock. Carrie Marshall on the clock.
I'm so excited to talk to you today. So right now in my business, I am in a really, really fun spot. And as much as I'm going to share some value with you, I also kind of want to give you an update of where my business is, because I know that some of you are going to be really excited about what I'm offering in 2023. And this is the perfect time to be able to talk about this. So I have been a goal coach, meaning that I've really been dialing in and helping people with those impossible goals for the last several years. And it's been incredible to be on this journey. Now I'm going to continue to do this because I love adding value and helping support people through these big, massive goals. But I noticed something really interesting. I noticed that a lot of people have the goal to write a book. Now, this may sound crazy to a lot of you, but so many people have the thought that writing a book is hard. It's almost like they're using it as a circumstance that writing a book is hard. Now, what I want to offer is I came into book writing a really kind of different way. And I think I've talked about it a couple times on here, but just to kind of give some of you an update or kind of catch you up into what happened. I've always been an avid reader. I've read over 100 books every single year since I was about 16. So I'm a really fast reader. I love reading. I read every single type of genre that I can, because I just love being able to be a reader and get into other people's heads, whether it's fiction, nonfiction. I just love it. And so I had a friend that was writing a book, and he messaged me and said, "Hey, I'd love for you to write my book and read my book. Give me your thoughts, feelings, see what you think." And so I did. And as I was reading it, I just noticed something. I was like, there's something missing. It could be so much better. So at that point, I had something to do. I could just, message him back and say, "Well done, congratulations, so fun that you're going to be an author," or I could be honest. And so I decided to be honest with him, but I wanted to kind of over deliver. So what I did was I wrote him back and just said, "Hey, I love you. I love the topic, and there's a big piece that's missing. What's missing is you. I'm missing the connection to you and your voice and your tone and how you would actually write this. Like, it just feels like it's missing." So I gave him feedback, but then I went above and beyond and said, "And here's what I was envisioning when you told me about your book." And I rewrote his first 2 chapters. It was easy. It was something that I knew him and I knew books. And so to be able to put those 2 together was so easy for me. It took me like an hour or something to rewrite these 2 chapters. My friend messaged me back and said, "You're hired." And I said, "I'm hired for what?" And he said, "I want you to write my book." So I wasn't looking to be a ghostwriter, but I ended up being a ghostwriter. And we ended up having a really successful book. It turned out to be really successful. And then we actually ended up collaborating. To this day, I still write his books. We write about 3 books a year together. And it's a really fun process. But through that, I actually got connected to other people that wanted to write books. And so I started to be a ghostwriter. So I came into book writing a really kind of different way than most people do. I started to write other people's stories, other people's books. And so I never had the thought that it was hard or that it was such a grind or that, it was such an emotional journey, because I was literally just writing other people's books. And so how does this translate back to my business? So I've been a ghostwriter for several years now. I've written over 20 books. I've had several of my book projects hit the Amazon bestseller. I'm still waiting for the New York Times bestseller. It's coming. I know it is, for these ghostwriting projects. But the interesting thing is I've never had my name on a book. Because I'm a ghostwriter, which means I am literally a ghost on these projects. So everyone always asks me, like, "Can you tell me what books you've written?" I'm like, "No, I can't." I sign contracts with people that say that I'm just there to write their stories, their concepts, all of those things for them. And I get paid for it. And then I'm out. And then I get to watch the success that they have, which is really fun. So I've noticed that I've been able to watch this process. Now I go from the very beginning of a book, from the first sentence all the way to published. I know the entire process and I see that it's really easy. And so as I was noticing that people were having these like hardships with writing a book, they'd get stuck at all of these different places. They'd get stuck in the story. They'd get stuck at like how to connect to the reader. They'd also get stuck with things like, how do you hire an editor? What is a publisher? Do I need to publish through one of the top 5 publishing? How do you get a literary agent? And then really, how do you get a book published, like actual into print and on Amazon, on Audible? I know all of those things. It is such an easy process for me because I've done this so many times with not only one of my really good friends, but also I've done it with so many different people in this realm. And so what I'm going to be doing in 2023, and I'm really excited about it, is I'm actually going to be offering something new that I've never done before. And that's going to be that we're going to combine coaching and writing together. What I'm doing in 2023 is we are going to be offering a really fun thing where you can get coaching twice a month on your book process. But on top of that, I have teamed up with Stormy Ocean Publishing, and we're actually going to be publishing people's books. That means that basically, just like I mentioned before, from the very first sentence to published, you are going to have a team working with you. Now, I've looked all like everywhere, and I've never seen anything like this offered before. So I'm really excited to be doing this because I see 2 different things that gets people stuck. Number 1 is mindset. The first thing that gets in people's way when we talk about writing books is the mindset of writing. We get stuck and we get in fear of like, let's say that you're writing maybe a self-development book, but you're including your story. Well, maybe your story includes other people. And so I see people hold back like, well, maybe this isn't my story to tell, or my mom's going to get really pissed off if I talk about how hard it was growing up. And so we start to kind of hold back because we're worried about other people's opinions. The second thing with mindset is people get really worried that they're going to be perceived a certain way. Like, for instance, I'm helping someone write a book right now, and she's really accomplished. She's probably one of the most accomplished women that I have ever worked with personally, multimillionaire, built this huge business. But she said, I don't want people to think that I'm arrogant and that I'm a know-it-all, or all of these different kind of connotations that sometimes come with being a successful woman. And so she's like, I'm putting myself out here and writing this amazing book, and I know it's going to serve so many people, but I'm also worried about judgments and that people are going to think that I just think I'm so amazing. And so then we hold back. And what I've seen is that she's held back part of her story because she's like having a hard time owning the fact that she is successful and that she's created all of this. And so that's why mindset is going to be so huge as we're going through this book process with so many people, is you want to get mindset coaching as you're writing, because as you write, it can feel really lonely. I had one of my really good friends write a book, and I was asking her about the process, and she was like, it was so lonely. She's like, I can't believe how lonely the process is of writing a book. And I asked her, like, why didn't you get a coach? She's like, I don't know. I didn't know that you could get a coach for like writing a book. I'm like, oh, absolutely you can. There's a lot of different coaches that can help you as you go through the process of writing a book. So mindset is a huge thing with writing a book. You're going to see that as you go and think about writing a book, you're going to get stuck a couple of different places. And that's why getting a coach and having a coach walk you through that process is going to be really important, because writer's block really is a big thing for people. But if you can have somebody that's there that has been through the process and really coached other people through it, it now becomes not an obstacle that's going to really stall you out for years. I just met with somebody the other day with a consult that wants to kind of do this. And he told me that he's been trying to write his book for 5 years. And he's like, and every time I go to write it, I'll get really excited about it. And then eventually something gets in my way and I get that roadblock. I get writer's block, personal things happen. And so sometimes that gets in your way. So mindset. The second thing that is a huge hurdle for people is this part of like, once the book's written, now what? Like, How many times do I have to edit it? Where do I find editors? And so what we're really going to be focusing on with this new offer that we're doing is we're going to focus on not self-publishing, because self-publishing is its own thing, but it's not also going out and finding a literary agent and then going that way of like getting these bigger publishing houses. We are kind of right in between those two. So it's called kind of like a boutique of publishing. So what you get to do is we're going to kind of mesh everything together, and you're going to get editing, you're going to get layout, you're going to get book design, you're going to get all of those things that you could get from like a bigger publishing house, but you're not going to have to give away the royalties that you have to do with most books, which is so exciting that we're able to offer this. And I'm so excited to be partnering with Stormy Ocean Publishing with this, because it's going to allow you, the author, to really do what you're going to do best, which is write your book. And then we're also going to help you with marketing. Now, we're really excited to be partnering and doing this for 2023. So there are some of you out there right now that are thinking, yes, I've really wanted to write a book, but I have been stuck. And so if this is you, I want to just kind of put it out there for you that this is the time for you to write a book in 2023. We are going to collaborate with the best people that are ready to say yes to being a published author in 2023. And we are so excited about this. So if you think that this is you, I want you to reach out to me right now. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Drive Your Thoughts Coaching, or you can email me at coachwithcarrie@gmail.com. And just say, I'm in with the book. I want to know more about the book publishing, because it's going to be a really, really fun process. There's something amazing about being able to take two different services and put them together to make it so much easier for you, the author, to be able to stay in your lane and do what you do best, which is share your story with the world. We want to make sure that you're doing that through coaching, making sure that you're not getting stuck with writer's block or those things that are going to stay in your way. And then also, number two, to help you really understand that we can help you with that next process. Once that book is written, what happens after then? We've got you. We're going to get you all covered so that you can go from the very first sentence to having a printed, published book in 2023. And we're really excited about this. So if you're interested, make sure to reach out to me, and we'll see you guys all next time. Thanks for listening to this podcast episode. If you're ready to get in the driver's seat of your own life, you can come and follow me at Drive Your Thoughts Coaching on Instagram, or come and see more ways to work with me at driveyourthoughts.com.
Yeah, whether ready or not, life's coming hard, no breaks, no stop. And if you put me on the spot, don't get it twisted, I never drop. If you feel a bit out of control and out the box, here's a way that you could drive your thoughts. Turn this podcast on, it's a lock. Carrie Marshall on the clock.